I might fuck this opening up a couple times, but that's all right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bobby Talks, I'm your host as always, Robert Gifford. Those dots mean that there's always more to the story. Today, I have a special guest. It might look a little different in here. I'm in the Orange Wall studio. My guest is hailing all the way from Massachusetts. What part exactly are you coming from, my friend?
From Lynn, Massachusetts.
Lynn, Massachusetts. The D to the B. Come on! My friend, my buddy. He is a world traveler. He is the merch manager, the hype man for the band Piebald. He's also the host of the 2 Weeks Notice podcast, and he is somebody that I am glad to know. Every time he walks into a room, the energy level comes up. D to B, Dana, how you doing, buddy?
And I'm doing really good. First of all, world traveler is a little bit of a stretch, okay? I went to Europe. Dude. I did not travel the world. But thank you.
4 months, though, right? I mean, how long were you there?
Yes. No, that's exactly correct. I went to Europe for 4 months. It was an open-ended trip, and I thought maybe 1 month or so, and it turned into 4 months. That is correct. Yes.
See, in my view, anytime you go on vacation and a week goes by and you're still not back home, you're now a world traveler. That's the way I look at it.
All right. Hey, fair enough. Fair enough.
So how you doing, man? What's it like in Lynn right now?
All right, so I mean, Lynn, it's just north of Boston. For anybody wondering, just north of Boston, next to like Salem, Massachusetts. So I work at a bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I'm just bartending. It's good to be back at work. It sucks. Like talking to you right now without a mask on is nice. Yeah. To be honest, it's a relief because bartending with a mask on is not fun. It's not fun at all, especially when we just went through a heat wave. It's been 100 degrees, and that sucks. It sucks, but I'm happy to be back.
We're in the same thing. You can see my skin, man. I've been mowing lawns. We've had 100-degree days here for it feels like 3 weeks now. So,
dude, I don't even recognize you. Your skin color, you actually blend in with that wall right now.
Yeah, I know. I'm really not orange like Trump, but I'm getting there.
Did you wait? Did you call it the Orange Wall Studio?
Yeah. What else?
I love that. You should call it Bobby's Skin Studio.
Yeah, that's what it's gonna be. I think if I
you literally blend in with that wall, dude.
So my friend, I got a couple questions for you. So we met on a cruise, brother.
Yes.
Now, it's funny because you were there with your twin brother.
He's not my twin.
He looks just like you.
Correct. Most people think we're twins.
Is he the oldest? Is he the youngest?
We're 2.5 years apart.
Okay.
I'm actually older, but the thing is, like, he's more mature, and he has a wife and a kid and a house. So like,
now
he's older experience wise.
Okay. But he's a school teacher as well?
That's correct. He's an 8th grade science teacher.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Yep.
I just remember when I met you guys, I know you're not twins, but God, for two people that 2.5 years apart, you guys look so much alike.
No, we get that all the time. It's funny, the bar that I work at, dude, he worked there like 3 or 4 years ago. And people still come in and they're like, "Hey, you're Matt, right? Hey, Matt." Like, they're like, "Matt, how you doing?" And I'm like, "No, I'm Dana." Like, it happens all the time. It's okay. He's a handsome guy.
He is. Yeah, you guys both good-looking gentlemen, a gentleman and a scholar. What's crazy about Dana now, guys at home, people that are watching this, is that Dana has probably the most unusual commute to work ever, but it is beautiful. Tell them about what you do and how you get to work.
Okay, so the bar that I work at in the moment, it's on a pond in Lynn, Massachusetts, and I also happen to live on the same pond. So every day to get to work, I hop in my kayak and I kayak to work, and then I tie up the kayak on the dock at the bar, and the owner of the bar, he's like this surfer dude. He's the best. He's the coolest, most chill guy ever. He's like, "Hey man, like, like, do you want to like tie up your kayak to to my doc. Like, that's cool. Like, he's cool. Like, at first I thought maybe he was going to be like weird about it, but he was just like, no, man, that's all good. If that makes
Yeah,
sense.
I mean, if you're gonna have a bar on the on the water, you're the best advertisement for how people can get there, man. That's great. So
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
so just so we're clear, what are you drinking, my friend?
I am drinking a Miller Lite.
Nice. Now I don't know if you
Miller
remember
Lite.
this or not, but I do not drink alcohol. Do you remember
Uh,
that?
I I remember that very well. Actually, I was gonna call you out on. Listen, while I open a new Miller Lite, I was actually gonna. I don't know if you wanted me to bring that up. Yes, I do remember because we were on that cruise. We were on that cruise. It was Boston to Bermuda and back.
Yep. 7 days.
7 days, and that was my first cruise. Was that your first cruise?
That would have been my second cruise. My first cruise that I went traveled solo.
Okay, and I respect the fuck out of that, man, because I wound up traveling solo afterwards, which we can get into if you want.
We will.
But
Yeah.
but dude, like I remember after like the first night, there was like the dance party and stuff, and you came up to me like the next day, and I was just kind of like laying out on a pool chair, and I still remember, dude. You came up to me and you had this like really expensive camera. I don't know if you remember this. You had this really expensive camera, and you were just like, "Hey, man, I'm gonna just like leave this with you, I'm like, if that's cool." And I was like, "Yeah, man, that's okay." But I was like, who's this guy?
Yeah.
I don't know this guy.
Yeah.
Like we had met the day before, but you're like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna leave this camera with you, and then I'll be back." And I just remember like feeling this big responsibility, like this big weight on my shoulders. I'm like, I don't even know this guy, and now I gotta watch his camera. I don't know when he's coming back. Do you remember that?
I do. So you and your brother were sitting on those lawn chairs,
Yes.
those beach chairs, whatever you call them. And I remember seeing you guys because I went solo, like I said. So that was the second day. I remember meeting you the first night. And the second day, I was like, oh, I recognize these guys, but I need to go back to my room for whatever reason, but I need to leave.
Yeah.
I don't feel like carrying this camera around anymore. So, yeah,
Right.
I had it there. It's funny. I never knew that I was going to give you this much anxiety over being on vacation and having to have this pressure of watching some stranger's camera. I'm sorry, dude.
No, it's okay. I can't say it gave me anxiety. It was more just like, wow. Like it was more like you definitely picked the right guy. Whether you picked me or my brother, you definitely picked two good guys who would never mess with your stuff, and we would totally look after your stuff until you came back. But it was more like I was impressed. I was like, how did this guy know that I'm a good guy?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How did you know that I wouldn't take your stuff? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I saw your dance moves the night before and
Okay.
and I was like, you know what? This dude's going for it, and I really, really appreciate that. So to me, I had a good feeling. That's all it was.
So dance moves equals like good dance moves equals trust. Is that what you're saying?
Probably not, but in my warped, stupid mind. You know, it's funny. I'm the type of guy, maybe you shouldn't look into it too much because it's funny. My friends get on me and my girlfriend's got on me from time to time about I leave my keys. My car's been stolen. My car got stolen 2 years ago because I leave my keys in the middle of it. I end up finding my car like 11 hours later, and I end up calling the cops and saying, hey, remember that car I called you about 11 hours ago? Well, I found it. Would you like to come pick it up so that you can take it to the impound and I can, at least dust it for fingerprints? So, yeah,
Dude,
I'm trusting.
and you don't even drink.
Yeah, and I don't even drink. I'm just stupid.
Well, then that's probably a good thing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's hilarious, dude.
So,
wow,
Mike,
man.
before we get into this world traveling thing, now I want to ask you a couple questions though. Like, give
Sure.
us a little context about, who you were before you just stopped everything you were doing and went on this 4-month journey.
Well, I would say first of all, I'm definitely still the same guy, but I appreciate the question. And what I would say is, so I was an executive for, Panera Bread.
Yeah.
Everybody know, if you're in the United States, Panera Bread, right?
Yeah.
So I worked for a franchise of Panera Bread and I was the director of baking. I was an executive, and I was overseeing the baking department for 64 Panera Bread. We can't say restaurants. It was cafes. We weren't allowed to say restaurants.
Oh,
But I was overseeing 64 units for Panera Bread. It was, I don't mean this in a bragging way, like, but I also want to like make a point. I was making six figures, dude. And I left that job because that's how miserable I was.
sure.
If that makes any sense.
Well, first of all, you call it a restaurant, you had to call it a cafe. So that lets me know right off the get-go how miserable you were.
Yeah. And you know what, as far as the company goes, to be honest, they took care of me. Like, the money was good, the benefits were good, and I loved the people. I just wasn't happy in the situation. And after 8 years, I just got out. I saved up some money. I got out, and I just quit. I just left, man. I just quit.
So you quit this job, and you did give some thought to it.
Yes.
You were miserable. And how long did you work there for?
8 years.
Okay, so you had done this for a while. So then you quit your job, you start saving up some funds, you put some funds to the side, and then you say, I'm going on a month-long journey, and it just continued on from there? Tell me your thoughts.
Well, all right, so here's the deal, man. To be honest, like I said, it was 8 years, and I purchased 2 properties. So I bought 2 condos while I was there.
Smart.
You know what I'm saying?
Beautiful.
Yeah. So I bought one. The first condo I bought was in New Hampshire, in the White Mountains, which is a national forest. It's on a ski resort. So I bought a ski condo essentially, and I'm renting that out right now. And then I bought another condo in Salem, Massachusetts, which is right next to Lynn, Massachusetts, which is where I'm from, which is right next to Boston. But Salem, you've heard of Salem. Everybody knows Salem, dude. Salem is the witch trials and all that stuff. It's the best town, in my opinion. It's the best city in Massachusetts. One of the best cities I've ever been to, and I love that place. So I bought a condo there too, and I rent that out as well, if that makes any sense. So like I got these 2 places, I rent them out. Okay, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Are you with me, Bobby?
I'm with you, man. I got you.
All right.
We're buckled in, buddy. We're enjoying the ride that is, D to the B, Dana. So we're here. You've got these condos.
Yep, I rent them out, and then I saved some money through working for Panera,
Sure.
And then I left my job.
Okay. So I was just curious because when you see somebody that you're following through social media, of course, social media is one of those things where we only highlight the best parts of our lives. You decided to go on this cruise, and out of the blue, I see you on this cruise, and then like a week goes by, and I see you updating more stuff on this cruise, and I'm like, dude, is this guy coming home? So then of course, I start getting curious. I think I messaged you a couple times, but what I loved, and then we'll use this as a transition, is that you started going, like you said, you went to Europe, right? But
yes.
You were for 4 months. But you started, at what point did you start, or did you do it at the beginning? Because maybe I caught on late. You started podcasting daily about the places that you visited that day.
Yeah, dude. I appreciate the question. So basically, from the very beginning, so how I got to Europe was I took a one-way cruise, which is how you and I met on a cruise, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man. So, the cruise you and I went on, that was the first time in my life I've ever been on a cruise. And I had so much fun. So that was definitely a big inspiration for what I ended up doing.
Yeah.
I took a transatlantic cruise, which basically just means it's a one-way cruise. So I hopped on a train from Boston to New York City. And then from there, I just took a taxi to the cruise port out of Brooklyn. And, dude, I just took a one-way cruise from New York City to Rome, Italy. And it was 2 weeks. And, it took a whole week just to get across the Atlantic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It took a full week just to get over there, dude.
Yeah.
And then we stopped, on the way, we hit the Azores, which is the Azores, or Portugal, the islands that are 100 miles off of mainland Portugal, and then we hit like mainland Portugal and Spain and France and Italy, and after 2 weeks it ended in Rome. Okay, so from there I had no plans, dude. I didn't know if I was going to be in Europe for a week. Well, I knew I was going to be there at least a week. I didn't know if I was going to be there for a month or 2 months or what, and it turned into 4 months. I don't know if that answered your initial question. I'm sorry.
So, okay. Well, no, it does in sort of. It gives me more context. But I guess, so you start off on this cruise, you take a 2-week cruise, and then you're in Rome. Where are you staying? Like, when do you get back onto a boat? Is it not? Are you venturing from train to train to train? Like, because you stayed at more places than just Italy or just Rome.
Yes. Yeah, I hit 27 countries, dude. No, good question. Questions. So while I was in transit on my way to Rome, Italy, I met. Well, here's the deal. Most people that go on cruises, it's a lot of, it's a lot of elderly people and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So like the cruise that you and I were on.
Which is what made our cruise so damn special, because we had a really good group of people, man.
Yeah.
Like, I got adopted. I don't know if you knew this or not, but I went there by myself. I kind of got adopted to this day by these it's funny that club that we were all in, or whatever you call it, that dance karaoke bar or whatever. That first night, I'm like contemplating whether or not I'm going to go to bed or not, because it's like 10:30 and I've been up all day. I had to get on the flight. I'm jet lagged. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to go down there and see what the action's about. I'm holding a pop in my hand with that stupid camera that I had. And this guy comes up to me and he's like, yo, dude, I've seen you walking around on this boat all damn day with that camera. He's like, do you want to come hang out with me and my family? And I was like, yeah, I do. So he takes me over and I meet like his mom, his aunts, his uncles. I meet his 2 brothers, and like I'm like the adopted brother now. It's funny. But continue on. Sorry.
Oh no, it's all good, man. You're a gentleman, and that doesn't surprise me to the least bit. But that club was called Bliss.
Elderly people on the cruises.
That club was called Bliss. But yeah, so who takes a transatlantic cruise from New York City to Rome, Italy, on April, I think it was like April 29th?
Yeah.
Nobody does that.
Retired.
Right.
Yeah.
So there was like maybe a group of like 30 of us that were like under 40 years old, if that makes sense. But you know what? To be honest, it ended up being the best crew of people. It literally took 6 days to get just from New York City to the Azores, the island of São Miguel, which is is part of Portugal. But like, when you spend 6 days on dude, you remember how much we bonded with you and other people just like 1 week. Imagine just 6 days, but not stopping anywhere. Do you know what I mean? Like, we just bonded. Same thing, the dance club and whatever. It was just a really good crew. And
you're right. We bonded, but the things I remember from that trip is like the dance club is what set it off, because I saw this guy. He's out there. I mean, he's owning the dance floor. Everybody around him starts circling it up, and Dana's just going nuts. He's going for it.
You talking about me?
Yeah, I'm talking about you. I'm like, you're the one that kind of like brought everybody together that first night in that room. And then afterwards, and then like the rest of the week, it was like, okay, we're eating late night food together, or we're seeing each other out in the pool, or we're like hanging out in a hot tub, or like high-fiving each other at these, these pubs in Bermuda. It was just a joyous time of people celebrating life. And I can only imagine you and that crew of people that you had on that boat, man, what that must have been like. So I'm jealous.
Well, dude, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that very much. But you had an initial question about the cruise to Europe.
I just want to know, I guess it's not necessarily the cruise itself, but like you were gone for 4 months. Like,
yes.
And you're there by yourself, even though you have this, these small group of people that are with you. When they get to this one-way trip, they're going to kind of venture on their own and do their own thing. Like, at any point did you, I know you had this podcast that you were doing. And
Yes. Okay.
my question was, I guess, is that, hey, what were your vulnerabilities like? Were you scared shitless at times? Were some days not as exciting as the others? Like, did you have some lull moments? Like, tell me, like, the heart of the trip. And, it's not it can't always be like beautiful, precious moments. Tell me about it. Especially.
Yeah, man. No, I love that question. And, you worded it perfectly. And to be honest, like, so my buddy, Ryan Fogarty, this comes full circle because he's getting married tomorrow, and I'm the best man in his wedding tomorrow.
Crazy.
He hit me up and he goes, "Hey man, there's this app called Anchor where you can just like record on your iPhone and just do a podcast." He was like, "You should just document your trip and do a podcast." And I was like, "Oh yeah, maybe, whatever." He sent that to me like 2 weeks before I left. Whatever, I hopped on the boat and I immediately, I mean, Matt, you've been on a cruise by yourself, dude. You know immediately like how it feels. Like you found me and you were like, "Hey, this guy's cool. I'm gonna leave my camera with him," and we bonded. And I saw you bond with other people and stuff. But I immediately just I found comfort, very much comfort, and almost it became therapeutic.
Sure.
In the sense where every day I would get on my phone and go on the Anchor app and just talk for like a half an hour about my day.
Yeah.
But because I was on a cruise, or oftentimes I was on a cruise, I would just talk like I was in a different country almost every day, dude. So I would just record, "Hey, here's what happened today. Now I'm in Spain. Now I'm in Italy." And like today I woke up and I decided to take a train from Rome to Venice. And here's what happened.
So every day you woke up with literally no agenda of what you were going to do. Just kind of maybe some is all spontaneous. Just like, I'm going here next. I'm going to go here next. Like, is that kind of how it went down? Or did you have it all like mapped out and how you wanted to go? Like,
that's a good question. So when I told you, the initial cruise from New York to Rome,
yeah.
I had zero plans once I got to Rome. I had no fucking idea what I was going to do, dude. No idea. And I ended up meeting this dude who was around the same age as me. His name was Emery. This guy was awesome. He was actually moving from Chicago to Istanbul, Turkey. He was doing the same thing. All right. So I showed up in Rome having no idea what my next plan was. I stayed there. He was just like, "Hey, man, do you want to hang out? Like, I'm going to be in Rome for a week. You want to hang out? Like, just stay. I'm staying at this hostel. We should hang out." We did. We hung out. And then one day I just woke up and I was like, "You know what? I think I'm done with Rome. Like, I've had enough of this city. I kind of want to just go to Venice."
Sure.
So, hey, I'll see you later, buddy. And he goes, "All right, man, I'll miss you. And, hey, I'm moving to Istanbul, Turkey next week. So like, if you decide you want to come to Istanbul, Turkey, hit me up." And I ended up like 2 months later, dude, I hit this guy up and I ended up, meeting up with him in Istanbul, Turkey. And he showed me all around.
Did he say, "Why the hell are you still like away from your hometown"? Did he say anything like that?
Kinda, but he wasn't surprised. You know what I mean? We bonded. He understood my personality and understood that it was an open-ended trip. And I hit him up and he was just, in his words, he was elated that I went there, and he showed me around, man.
So, all right, my last question on this cruise is that, and not just this cruise, but just traveling to all these places, is that a guy that, how old were you when you left your job to go and do that?
I'm 34 now.
Okay.
I was 33.
33. So
Yeah.
I'm 33 right now. Okay.
Yep.
And I think, we got a lot of similarities, you and I. So the question, I guess, is that what does a 33-year-old man and his, very, well-to-do job, benefits, security, what is it he or you Dana? Like, what were you looking for, man? Like, you go on that journey. What is it you're looking for, brother? And did you find it? Did you find what you were looking for?
I love that question.
I love you,
What I
brother.
can
I'm
say,
just trying to ask these questions. I love you, man.
no, no, it's all
Yeah.
good, man. I'm a deep guy. I have nothing to hide. It's all good, man. Don't ever worry about what you're asking me. Dude, like the at the time the when I met you on that cruise,
Yeah.
I was like kind of like on a break in a relationship that ended up being very toxic, and I should have known at that time.
Okay.
So later on, after that cruise, I ended up getting back with this person, and then it ended up being even more toxic. So it turned into, to answer your question, brother, I was in a toxic job or career and a toxic relationship,
Sure.
and they both ended on the same day. It was kind of beautiful, dude.
No,
It was kind of beautiful. So
yeah.
like literally the same day, like I left Panera and I left this toxic relationship, and I just all of a sudden became a free man, dude.
Free
I
man.
was just free. But as far as the job goes, dude, I for at least 4 years I knew I didn't want to do. I tried to get myself fired.
Sure.
It was kind of, you know the movie Office Space?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you remember? What would you say you do? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Dude, like literally, like I thought I was in trouble, and I ended up getting promoted.
Oh my goodness.
Um, so to answer your question, like I just set this goal. I was like, all right, like they made me an executive. They paid me 6 figures, and I just said, all right, I'm gonna do this for 2 more years. 2 years. If I still am miserable, then I'm just gonna leave. So in the meantime, I bought 2 condos and I saved up money, and here I am.
Well, I got to say, I think it's something to admire. I absolutely wish I had that. I guess I wish I had the financial stability to be able to do that first and foremost. But even without it, I wish I had the more daring, like just one-way ticket. Let's see what happens and kind of go from there. I did it for a week, but that's nothing to applaud. I knew I was coming back home, so that was a round trip by all means. So.
Well, you're a teacher, man.
Yeah, well, still, no, I absolutely love what I do. I just was saying, as far as, I still have a sense of like adventure in me. And,
You
that's why
do.
I love being a school teacher for all the reasons that comes with that. But at the same time, it gives me this great, I get the summers off. I can go kind of seek and see the world. I just got back from Vegas after losing shit tons of money there playing cards. But,
Whoa, time out. I have a question. First of all,
sure, go
I
ahead.
respect I respect the fuck out of what you do. Because I know you're a good guy, and it's not a good teacher and a good human. It's hard to find both. Like, there's a lot of good there's a lot of teachers that are good at math, but maybe they're bad with people. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying? So I respect you because I know you're good at that. Second of all, tell me what's your poison in Vegas? Is it blackjack? What is it?
Oh, no, dude, I am a competitive, no limit Texas Hold'em tournament player. I'm all about
Oh,
all
yo,
pokers.
I
You
want to
got
play poker with you.
Dude, you play cards?
Oh yeah. Oh,
Oh,
listen, this
dude,
guy facts.
really? So I
Oh
played.
yeah.
I started about 2 years ago, like really, really trying to get crazy serious about it. And I started reading books, started getting pretty good. And I was like, all right, so we went to these card tournaments up here in Detroit. And dude, next thing I know, I'm like I'm finishing, now I'm winning, and I'm winning, and then I'm finishing. And it's like, all right, I'm gonna go to Vegas and see if I can't test my limits out there. The issues with Vegas was because of our time right now, the quarantine. They didn't have any tournaments going on. So I had to play just cash game tables, which is a completely different animal.
Oh, cash versus like sit and go.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
or
I'm
big
a
wait, huh.
I'm
Wait,
a much
what
better tournament player.
what's that?
I said I'm a much better tournament player than I am just like throw down 200 and try to turn that into 1,000. So
I also prefer tournaments over like cash games. But I gotta ask, like, what's the biggest tournament you've won?
as far as cash, how much money? I play in these every Friday and Saturday night. I play in these 10 table, 100-man tournaments. and I've won those a couple times, cashed a couple times.
First place?
Yeah, I've won the whole thing. Yeah, so like I've taken home 700 plus a couple times.
Nice,
So,
man.
yeah,
Nice.
And if you finish in those card rooms, like if you finish, what I mean by that is if you finish 1 through 10, if you make it to the table, you get a piece.
Final table.
Yeah, dude, I've gotten 700, 500, 300. You know, it's one of those things where I was like, it kind of started building that self-efficacy in me a little bit. Just like, dude, you can do this. Like, you know, so.
Hell yeah.
I felt pretty good about it. I don't know. We'll have to play some cards next time, man.
Yeah, dude. We should talk more offline about that because I'm a big time card player. For sure.
So let's talk about 2 weeks notice. Okay. So a lot of people are venturing out and doing the podcast thing, but you took the podcast on the ship with you, and not just the ship, into your. And then when you got home, you continued that. And it because I would say it wasn't 2 weeks notice until you got home. At what point when you got back did you decide that, you know what, I really enjoy this podcast thing. I want to start doing it and doing it professionally. So go ahead. I mean, you know what I mean by professionally.
Yeah, man. I appreciate that question. And it's still very far from professional. Okay. Let's just make that clear from the beginning.
But it's hella entertaining. I love the stories, man.
I literally just talk into my fucking phone, man, and I just tell a story, and then I hit upload. But it started with like, I was in Europe and I just recorded on my phone, and I enjoyed it so much, and I found it to be so therapeutic. I felt like I was talking to my friends, and it all started with like my mom and my dad would listen to it, and like a few close friends, you know what I'm saying? And I ended up like while I was over in Europe still, I had people writing me on Instagram, like sending me as the kids say, DMs, direct messages. And I had people from Israel sending messages like, hey, I found your podcast and I really love it. And this one guy in particular was just like, I got a lot of stuff going on. I got a lot of problems, and it brings me all this happiness. And like, I didn't go to Israel. I don't know anybody from Israel. And I never expected anything like that, man. So that was like, it made me feel really good. And also, again, like I said, it was therapeutic, just kind of like telling the stories and stuff. And I was like, well, why don't I just I could tell stories. I'll just go home and keep telling stories. So that was, to go back to what you said, that was what I did. And that's what I'm still doing.
You know, it's funny that you say that. I think that's kind of the thing I get the most enjoyment out of, is like, we're both starting this thing up and trying to, like I said, professional, but it's like, that's where we'd like to get. You know what I mean? We both have an end goal of where we'd like this to be. If it doesn't get there, so be it.
Do you have an end goal?
Well, I do, in the sense of like, I would like to see it get as big and touch as many people as possible. But here's my thing. If it doesn't, so be it. I'm enjoying, I'll do this the rest of my life with as many viewers as I can possibly touch, and whoever that is, that's great. I'm literally going to do this the rest of my life. I'm never going to stop. So whether I get paid
nice?
for it or not, so what?
It's therapeutic, right?
It is. And what I like is it brings like a sense of community. Like, dude, here we are shooting the shit, playing catch up. And I don't know if one person's going to watch this, you and me, or if 100 people are going to watch it. But all I know is that it brought you and me back and a chance to play catch up. And if we have anything interesting to say at all, maybe people listen to it. That's why I enjoy it. But like, what I enjoy the most about it is the feedback, like you just said. Like, I'll put a video up, or I'll post an episode up, and people will be like, hey man, I really appreciated that episode. You know, I really, and whether it just be 2 or 3 people or 3 or 4, it doesn't matter. It's those types of the feedback that you get from your peers. It's kind of like that. I don't know. It's just like, it just makes it feel like you're doing something that's purposeful, whether it's,
well, I
you do on yours. Cause dude, I'm telling you, you guys, you got to check out 2 weeks podcast. This man has to.
No, it's 2 week notice.
So
I gotta say, man, I appreciate everything you just said, but dude, you first of all, like your fucking studio is, I mean, that is exactly what I aspire to be, but like I'm too lazy, and I feel like, you know, I can talk and talk all day. You know what I mean? but like I don't have the vision that you have. Like I see how you did this. Like you before you did it right, man. Before you saw any or before you recorded anything, you set up the studio. You got the orange room. You do literally your skin matches the wall, which I'm jealous of that tan. You know what I mean? And I've listened to your podcast, which is very impressive. Like you have people who actually matter come on. Like I don't know why you're interviewing me because I don't have anything important to say. I'm just like some weird dude who likes to travel and have fun.
You don't think that middle-aged? No. Stop it. You don't think that there's middle-aged people out there that are stuck in a job that they don't like or a relationship that they don't like, and that might be inspired by your story to just pick up or stop whatever they're doing, pick up their life, and just start living for 4 months? Like, dude, if that's not interesting, I don't know what the hell is, man. I mean, I'm inspired just hearing you. Like, that's why I asked. It might have been the most boring 12 minutes for people to listen to. I don't fucking know. All I know is that I really enjoy that part of what your life has been so far. And we haven't even talked Piebald. I mean, we haven't even hit what Piebald is. So,
yeah.
So here's a chance. Tell the listeners a little bit, like, what is it, if they go check you out on 2 Weeks Podcast, like, what are they going to hear?
First of all, it's called 2 Weeks Notice Podcast. Come out! It's called the 2 Week Notice Podcast.
Yep.
And it's mediocre at best, okay? I literally talk into my phone and I hit upload. You got this beautiful studio and
I'm gonna send you a microphone. After we're done here, I want you to send me your address. They got microphones you can plug right into your phone, brother.
All right, hey, you heard that live, people? He's gonna send Bobby. You gonna send me a microphone?
All I'll have to have you do is just Venmo me the cash so I can get it. I'm just joking.
Wait, no, seriously, what was your question?
So 2 weeks notice. Tell us about what we're gonna hear. We check it out.
I mean, dude, it all started with me going to Europe. So you could literally hear me talking about perfect example. I was on an overnight train from Venice, Italy to Munich, Germany, and I recorded a podcast live and I just talked into my phone. You could hear that, or you could hear me on tour as a tour manager for Piebald, opening up for Dashboard Confessional, the legendary Dashboard Confessional.
That's awesome.
Do you know Dashboard? Do you know of them?
Who doesn't know Dashboard Confessionals?
I don't know, people that come to my bar. Yeah, man, that was a big deal. No, and that's, you know what I mean? Like, and you know what was the coolest thing about that was Chris Carrabba. He is Dashboard Confessional.
Sure.
And I was just like, one night, you know, we're the openers for this band on this tour, and we're selling out these House of Blues like 2,000 to 2,500 people, which is insane. That's not what Piebald normally does. Yeah. And one day, you know, I'm the cowbell player, right? And all of a sudden, I'm getting ready to play the cowbell, and an arm comes around me. And I look to my left, and it was Chris Carrabba of Dashboard Confessional, man. And I go, like, wow, Piebald is playing. And I'm just ready to go on stage. And he's just like, hey, man. I was just like, oh, what's up, dude? He goes, you know what's great? I go, what? He goes, we get to watch Piebald every night. I go, yeah, man, they're my favorite band. He goes, me too.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
That is 100% accurate, man.
Dude, that is so fascinating. Did you say you get to watch Dashboard every night? I mean, for crying out loud.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. And I've been a Dashboard fan for 20 years. And it has nothing to do with Piebald. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been a Dashboard fan forever. And all of a sudden, I find out we're opening up for Dashboard.
So how did that come about? So first of all, let's give some context here. So Piebald is like, how do you know these guys? Are these some buddies of yours that you grew up with? Did you just happen, like, how did you get involved with this band?
So basically, they're from North Andover, Massachusetts, which is close to Boston. And they formed in 1994. Okay. So for that reason, they play in Boston a lot, right? If you're from Andover, which is 30 minutes from Boston, you're going to play in Boston a lot. So I was born in 85. So when they formed, I was 9 years old, dude. You understand?
Yeah.
I was 9 years old, but they were in high school.
Sure.
So fast forward, they became big on the scene in Boston, and I was just their biggest fan, man. And I just went to I had the pleasure of getting to see them more than anybody else in the country, because if you're from Boston, you're going to play in Boston more often, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Long story short, they break up in 2009. They got back together in 2016, and they did a West Coast run, and I flew out to Los Angeles, and I brought a cowbell with me. I swear to God on my life.
I got a fever. I got a fever.
I showed up to their sound check at the Echoplex in Los Angeles. I brought a cowbell. I actually got stopped at the airport with that cowbell because it went through the X-ray, you know. And the guy was like, "What's that right there, sir?" And I was like, it's a cowbell." And he was like, "Please step aside." And because I didn't check a bag. I just had my cowbell in a backpack. You know what I mean?
Just literally your cowbell, and
Yep.
Yep. Go ahead.
That's it. No, that's exactly it. And I wish I took my phone out and took a picture, but I was nervous about the security thing, so I didn't want to cross any boundaries. But I should have taken a picture. But basically, he was just like, all right, well, I'm just gonna search your bag. And then he looked in the bag and he was like, cowbell. All right, story checks out. It's definitely a cowbell.
Yeah.
So and then I showed up to their sound check with a cowbell, with beers. They made me try out. I had to audition.
So time out. Wait. I'm missing something here though. So you fly out there because they're having a show. You're just a fan at this point, right?
Yeah.
And you get there and you're like at this point they know you, right? Because you've obviously intermingled at some bars or something, right?
That's exactly right.
And then they're like, "Dude, you brought a fucking cowbell. What's with the cowbell?" And then you go ape shit on this cowbell. Like, what's the story there? How do they audition you?
No, you just kind of hit the nail on the head. There was not a position open for a cowbell player. I just made it happen. I swear to God on my life, dude. I fucking swear to God. They never advertised, "Hey, cowbell player, come try out." I just showed up.
But who proposed it to who? Did you say, "Hey, you guys could really use a cowbell player," or did they say,
No,
I love your energy"?
I just showed up.
Say it again.
I showed up. I will. I will say. They released a DVD maybe 10 years earlier, and their former tour manager on the DVD, he would play the cowbell on this one song.
Okay.
So then but that was maybe 2006 or something like that. And then they broke up, whatever, a couple of years later. And when they had a couple reunion shows, and nobody was playing the cowbell. And I said, I can do this. So I literally just packed a cowbell in my suitcase, like I just told you. And I bought a ticket to all their shows. And I showed up to their sound check. And they said, first of all, you got to try out. We need to make sure that you can actually do this. And then I did it. And they're like, yeah, you're in. And they're like, second of all, never buy a ticket to our concerts again because you're in. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And then so I became the official cowbell player, hype man, and then that turned into being the merch guy, and then that turned into being the tour manager for Dashboard Confessional.
That is incredible. I love the fact that you are just relentlessly pursuing your dreams. Just a man, his cowbell, and his his 2 feet. I love that. I
feel like I'm the worst interviewee ever.
What's that?
I feel like I'm the worst interviewee ever.
Stop. Don't be getting all insecure on me now. Don't be doing that.
Don't judge me. You got your nice shirt, your nice headphones.
Oh yeah,
dude.
$15. You went on a 4-month stay in Europe. I bought
Dude,
$15. I
dude,
think
your face matches one side of the wall, and then your shirt matches the other side of the wall. You're beautiful.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah. So you're
Dude,
on stage, you're doing the hype man thing, you're the tour manager, you are enjoying life. I caught your podcast, the last one. You were talking about just some of the emo bands that you enjoyed growing up. And
yeah.
yeah, dude, that's my wheelhouse too. When I was growing up, I'm right there. You said Taking Back Sunday on the show. I was a big fan of them. I'm a huge Used fan. I don't know where you are with them.
Taking Back Sunday. I love Taking Back Sunday.
But no,
Don't even get me started.
the Used. Do you remember the Used?
To use, yeah. Is it worth it? Can you? I
Can
can't
you
sing.
even hear
Yeah.
me? Oh, dude, yeah, that's where I was at.
Yeah. Not enough to feed the hungry. Yeah, yeah. I mean, they're all right. I wasn't huge into them, but
Coheed and Cambria.
all right, Coheed. All right, you want to talk Coheed? Dude,
Yeah.
their first album, Second Stage Turbine Blade. That album is one of my favorite albums of all time.
Right.
And then you know what I liked even more than that is In Keeping Secrets, which is their second album. Coheed is one of the best bands I've ever heard in my life, man. Coheed is amazing. I love that band.
It's funny because a buddy of mine, he's the one that kind of turned me on to him, and I kind of came on to him a little later. I think I heard him and I was like, welcome home. Okay, good job. I'll applaud.
Welcome Home is an amazing song.
Oh, it's phenomenal. But it's not even my favorite Coheed song,
What's your favorite Coheed song?
Dude, I knew you were gonna ask me that, and it's a lot of people give me shit for this. I really enjoy The Island.
That's some new shit.
It is newer. It's like 6 years old.
Yeah, but it's new.
Even the key. What's the new album?
I don't know, dude.
The extraction of the. But dude, I think they're like a fine wine. They just get better as they keep going. Like I really enjoy The Island. But Welcome Home.
I can't argue that. My favorite Coheed song is called "God Send Conspirator." Okay. It's on their first album, which is called Second Stage Turbine Blade. It's that and dude, their sophomore album, which is In Keeping Secrets. The song called In Keeping Secrets, which is like, do you know that song? It's like,
I'm sure I do. I don't know their.
I can't even try to like connect. I'm not even gonna try. But it's on the same, that Good Eye Sniper. Yes. I'll shoot. It's on that same album.
Yeah. I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure I heard it 1,000 times. I just don't know it to be named that.
It's okay. Coheed rules, man. That band, I saw them before they even listen. I would love to talk to you all day about these bands. What else you got?
Well, Coheed and Cambria, they kind of busted my my concert going virginity as far as like really turning.
Yeah, baby.
Dude, I gotta tell you. So I went to like 3 or 4 concerts well before I got to Coheed, but I was kind of like the lame dude in the back. I was so pretentious, mainly because I was afraid. I was like,
okay,
the back and go. I just kind of want to sit and watch these guys. I want to hear the music, man. Like,
were you by yourself?
Look at no. But like every time I'd go to a concert, I'd be like, look at these assholes moshing or jumping around, like ruining this performance. And then we go to Warped Tour. My buddy and I, we were like, you know what? Let's go to Warped Tour. There's like all these bands there that we want to see. This was in 2007, and all of a sudden we watched probably the first 2 or 3 shows from literally the furthest place back. And we're just scared. That's all it was. But we were telling ourselves, dude, I want to watch the band play. Well, finally, Coheed was coming on, and we're like, you know what? Let's get a little bit closer. So we got.
Wait, can I ask who you saw before Coheed?
I would have saw Avenged Sevenfold.
Okay.
And then Newfound Glory.
Nice.
Yeah, and it was a good lineup, and it was just one of those things where it was like we were just too scared, man. So, anyways, we get in the middle of this mass of people, and it's 90-some degrees outside. The heat is just basting onto the blacktop, And all of a sudden, we're like 5 minutes out from Coheed coming on the stage, and we're all tight in, nobody can move, and people start chucking CDs in the air. And I look up, I go, my buddy Will was with me. I was like, Will, what the hell is that? He's like, dude, people are throwing CDs, but people can't move. So these CDs are coming flying down, and they're like slicing people in the forehead. There's blood gushing everywhere.
Jesus.
And, dude, it was like a massacre for a minute there. It was pretty fucking scary. And then all of a sudden, bam, Welcome Home starts playing. The band has no idea.
Yeah.
The fans are out there just in bloody mess. And then nobody cared anymore after that. Literally, we start getting shoved around. People are crowd surfing. My buddy Will saved some guy's life. He literally palms like his face from hitting the freaking concrete. And he looks at it. He's like, I just saved your life. It was just epic. And when we got done, I literally changed my concert going experience. And yeah,
was that Detroit?
It was in Detroit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Warped Tour is pretty special if you hit it back when they were,
the last time I went to Warped Tour was 2007, and I took ecstasy.
So, but you saw the same one, man.
Yeah. I took ecstasy, and I remember I saw Bayside. I saw Coheed,
Yeah.
Newfound Glory. Yeah. Listen, I don't do drugs. I did at one time.
Hey,
Don't judge me.
You made it to the other side, man. This side of the other. The town? Come on now, the town.
I think that the what? I've never watched that movie.
I'll see you on this side of the other. Talking about the glass is there.
Yeah, I'll see you on this side of the other. Whatever. Yeah. No, that was the last time I went to Warped Tour, man.
Me too. Yep.
2007.
Yep. And they closed it then, I think. I think they shut the doors like 2 years ago.
You know what's funny? They're kind of heroes now because before all this COVID stuff, they totally were just like, Warped Tour's done. And now this COVID stuff happened like a year later. You know what I'm saying? And now it's like, well, when are concerts even going to happen again? Who knows?
Yeah, and dude, I need them. I miss them. It's something about sharing that, the thing I talk about with music, like it's just something that makes you feel alive, brother. It's just when you get that feeling and you're surrounded by people that share that same sense as you, and you guys are all shouting back or singing along or whatever it is, it's like you can feel just goosebumps up. I'm getting them right now just talking about it. That's how long it's been. I don't know when they're coming back, but hopefully soon.
I love that, man. There's nothing better than live music.
There's not.
My three favorite things: live music, traveling, and like maybe snowboarding, I guess. But yeah, no, there's nothing better, man.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, there's a fourth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking.
Yeah.
Well, that goes without saying.
It's funny. I wrote down on here. I wrote down on my notes when I was going to ask you about your high school journey, like losing your virginity. Were you like 11 or was this like yesterday? I feel like you're so wild that like you.
What?
Dude, I feel like you're the type of guy. I just remember this crazy animal dancing and kind of gyrating on the dance floor when we were en route to Bermuda. So like I feel
okay,
like,
listen. First of all, that's a weird ass fucking question. However, I will happily answer it.
Yes.
Yeah, man. So I lost my virginity. I was 17. My high school sweetheart. If I showed you her picture, you wouldn't even believe it. You'd be like, Dana, how the fuck did you get that girl?
I would believe you. I would be like, how the fuck did you let that girl go?
Well, that's a different conversation.
Okay.
We're still talking. You know what I mean? Like it's still kind of it's still kind of a thing.
Facebook is complicated, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. No. I love this question. And again, I have nothing to hide, man. Yeah, dude. Like, I lost my virginity. I was 17 years old. It was well, my birthday is Halloween, so I graduated high school at 17 years old. Like I wasn't, and then I turned 18 the following October. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're on the young side. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like the youngest kid in my class kind of thing. Like I skipped first grade, whatever. So I lost my virginity. If you really need to know, it's kind of a weird no question. But
I
yeah,
just the reason I wrote it down is because I just feel like with you, I just was kind of curious, like who you were in high school, because the guy that I saw on that boat was I thought you played a crucial part in bringing people together, just with joking around and being so conversationalist. And I think that's a huge gift that you have, and I'm lucky to know you because of it. It makes everything easy. I feel like so.
well, thanks, man. And all from the bottom of my heart, that actually means a lot to me. I really appreciate that. And I know I do have this strong personality, and I've always had it, but I never necessarily had that confidence until, I don't know, maybe until recently. Maybe I'm still kind of finding it, to be honest. But I really appreciate that. But yeah, like at the same time, though, I gotta say, and I don't mean this in a bragging way, so I don't know how to say this without coming off like sounding like a douchebag. But like I always my girlfriends are always like really, really hot. You know what I mean? But like, and I don't want to sit here and say like out of my league, because I don't believe in the out of my league thing.
Sure. Yeah. No, I
But
totally.
at the same time, I'm certain that like I could go out to eat and somebody might be like, how the fuck does this fucking guy get fucking that girl? If that
Yeah.
does that make any sense, dude?
Dude, it does. It's one of those things where it's like people look at you and they take you and they judge you by your package and they sit there and say, how does that guy pull that girl off? But
Hey, listen. I got a nice package. I don't know what that has to do with anything.
yeah, you're right. Package has nothing to do with this. I
Yeah.
can attest that I did not see that on the cruise, unfortunately. But
Oh Jesus! Whoa, hey, oh, hey, whoa, hey. Go on.
anyways, no, it's just one of those things that like if I could see you shoot your shot. You're the epitome of saying like you miss all the shots that you don't take in life. You're the guy that goes out there and shoots your shot. I get it, man. I respect it.
I mean, I'm picking up what you're putting down. I wear my heart on my sleeve.
Yep.
I'm definitely surprisingly a killer dancer. I think that I think that helps. But yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate what you're saying. Thank
Yeah,
you.
no problem, man. No problem. Hey, so listen, here we're at the end of this thing, man. Time flies when you're having a conversation with D to the B, 2 weeks notice, Piebald tour manager, a world traveler, whether he agrees with that or not, a European traveler. How about that? That makes him feel
What
good.
time are we at?
We're at 1 hour mark, brother. We're at 57:54.
Damn.
Time's crazy. Anything else you want to talk about?
Well, fuck, man. I don't know. You asked me about albums. I don't know.
Rip them off, brother. Tell me. I was gonna ask you. I got it written down here too. We do this thing where, especially with people that love music, the albums that made you love music in the first place. What were they?
Number one would be the Beatles, Abbey Road.
Oh yeah.
My mom she was always spinning that vinyl when I was a little kid, man. So that would be number one.
You have a favorite track? You got a favorite track from that album?
Oh, something.
Okay.
George Harrison wrote. That's a George Harrison number. He wrote the song "Something."
I saw Paul at Bonnaroo 3 years ago.
Isn't he the best?
Greatest experience of my life, concert wise.
I saw him at Fenway Park 3 times, dude.
I've seen him twice, so yeah, good for you.
Yeah, no. So we're on the same page. I'm a psycho Beatles fan, dude.
For sure. Yep.
And Paul is my favorite Beatle, man. He's like 70 years old and he plays 35 songs a night.
For 4 hours. He'll just go, dude.
And he's the perfect gentleman, and he's the best. His voice has not been compromised. I don't understand how his voice is still just as beautiful. Yeah, he's the best, man. I'm happy that you saw that. You know what I'm saying.
I'm a Lennon guy, by the way.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
All right, we can save that for episode 2.
Yeah. So
Are you?
I am. I like Lennon. Yeah, I appreciate Lennon, the social activist Lennon.
All right, I respect that. I mean, I love them all.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can say that for episode 2. So Beatles Abbey Road. To be honest, I grew up on rap, dude. I grew up on rap. So the first album that I ever owned was the Fugees, The Score. Lauryn Hill, a big Fugees guy, and that album is incredible. How many? Wait, how many am I naming off?
Whatever you got. We usually ask for 5, but whatever you got.
So that's 2. Beatles, Abbey Road, the Fugees, The Score. The album that changed my life would be Weezer, the Blue Album.
Yep. Yep.
I saw them in Switzerland last year. That was unreal. This album right behind me, right there.
Yeah.
That's Piebald.
Yeah.
Piebald, We Are the Only Friends That We Have. That album, I mean, that was, again, I know I work for them now, but I was their biggest fan before I ever worked for them. So that was kind of a dream come true.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. To be honest, I have a little list right here, and I have a few that I can't just pick one.
Honorable.
Can I just?
Yes. Throw them all on there.
All right. Saves the Day, Through Being Cool. Wes and Jake, Hello Rockview. And then Brand New, any album by Brand New.
Brand New's great. I don't know those other two. Say those other 2 again.
Saves the Day.
Oh, I know that. Okay. Yep, I know who they are.
But the album Through Being Cool is fire. It's fucking fire. And also Less Than Jake, they're a ska band, and it's called Hello Rockview. It's perfect from front to back.
And those are the albums, man. Like, what I was going to tell you about Weezer is, like, Weezer surprises me because I feel like when they just don't feel like a band if you just by looking at them that should have had this type of longevity. But they find a way to recreate their wheel all the time. I think they do a fantastic job of making their sound fresh, but still kind of having that Weezer feel to it. Like, I don't know. I really enjoy Weezer, especially the more older I get, the more I come to them.
To be honest, like, the more they do stuff, the more they annoy me.
You're the opposite. You don't like this stuff.
I love them, dude. Honestly, like, for me, it goes like Piebald, but they don't count because now I'm like with them.
Sure.
And aside from that, it goes Beatles and Weezer. But like with Weezer, man, it's their first 2 albums. It's the Blue Album and Pinkerton, and there's nothing better than that in my mind. But everything they do now, everything they do now is calculated. And like, dude, I don't want to bash them, but like, I paid like an extra $100 recently, in addition to their concert ticket to meet them and take a picture with them, and it was like a VIP. You know what I mean? And they didn't give a fuck
who
I was, or like they were just like, come on in, like take a picture. They were like, don't even talk to them. Take the picture and get out. Like it was kind of a bummer. I don't know, man.
Dude, sometimes meeting your idols is not everything you thought it was going to be. You know what I mean?
You're right, dude. You're 100% right. And that's why, and maybe this comes full circle. Like when I ending up working for a fucking Piebald, man, it's truly a dream come true. They're the most approachable guys ever. And then Piebald was hired to work for Dashboard Confessional, and that guy couldn't have been nicer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Your level of fame has nothing to do with whether or not you're not necessarily an asshole, but whether or not you care about people. I mean, these are your fans. This guy paid hard-earned money to come and see you. Make that moment mean something to that guy. So.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. And the Chris from Dashboard, man, I saw him. He did the same thing that I just told you about with Weezer. He had the VIP thing.
Yeah.
And literally, man, I watched him. He talked to every single person. He put his arm around them pre-corona. But like he put his arm around them and talked to them, and it was very personal. And it was very like genuine. And that's the difference between like something like that and again, I still love Weezer, but you know what I'm saying.
I understand that, but like you said, it's just nice to have that type of touch, and he seems like how lucky were you that you were able to get that in before coronavirus showed up? You were able to get that tour in with those guys. So
yeah, you're right.
Huge.
You're right.
All right, my man, Dana, I'm glad we did this, buddy. ladies and gentlemen, we are at the hour 5 mark. We have got to wrap this up. My friend, I can't say thank you enough for being on the show. You've got a lot going on. I know right now it doesn't seem like it because there's not a lot going on, but when we start ramping up, I know you're going to be a busy man. So I appreciate you being here.
Bobby, dude, your face literally blends in with that wall. oh. Hey, I love you, man.
Dana can be found on a 2 weeks notice podcast. You can check him out on this episode 6 of Bobby Talks 3 Dots. We'll see you down the road. I thoroughly enjoy him. You should too. Peace.
Boys.
My man.
I love you, buddy.
I love you
I
too.
love you.
We did it. We did it.